Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered. If you are new here, welcome to this channel. I do news and reactions, and if you are not new, welcome back. So look at this look for a minute. I did this on purpose, okay? Because I'm not going to stay like this for the whole episode. But I just want you to look at the very demure, I forget the other word, I forget what it is right now. Very conservative look. Now, normally I would put clips in my hair so it would have that curly effect because I blow out my hair and I'm still learning about my own natural curls. So I won't wear it on camera until, for me, it looks presentable because I don't know what I'm doing with my naturally curly hair, so I blow it out. But in the meantime, with all that being said, here is this very conservative, influential look. If I wanted to go and give a speech to a group of women about being conservative, being the traditional wife, this might pass along. I have the pearls going on. I'm making sure that I am very well covered so that nobody sees what's going on with the rest of, boobage and whatever the case may be. This is what conservative women are aspiring for. Not me, but this is today's topic, and let's get into it. So, a few months ago, MS Now had put up a video about the Heritage Foundation, the new blueprint for American women. And we cannot forget this is still on the forefront when it comes to the Heritage Foundation and what they want for the white women. I can't even say like white culture because I don't know if there's such a thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Heritage Foundation's goals as part of their Project 2025 is to ensure the purity of the white race. You have a woman like Savannah Stone, or Savannah Faith Stone, I should say, who's going around talking about this traditional life. And she is an influencer. And I did talk about this in one of my videos that I'm going to play for you right now as a reminder of why this whole traditional thing, this bullshit of conservatism, is just another word for the protection of white supremacy, in quotations, for anyone who is just listening to this.
As a Christian woman, honestly, I would be okay with giving up my right to vote.
Do you think your daughter should have the right to vote?
I'd be okay if she didn't, because I also know she's going to marry a biblical man.
I would as well give up my vote if it got rid of things like abortion.
This was at the recent Turning Point Women's event Erica Kirk got heckled at. You don't want to vote? Fine. Please, actually, stay home. One of the people who spoke, who's leading this charge, is Savannah Faith Stone, who is becoming very popular online. Just like the manosphere has male podcasters, we have to watch out for their women counterparts because she's out here saying things like this.
I believe that it should be a one household voting system.
Look how many followers this woman has.
And let me just pause for a second here. Not only does Savannah Faith Stone have like a bunch of followers, but does she not look white? She looks a little melanated as far as I'm concerned.
Conservative girlies love her. There's this idea called the Overton window, right? That what is socially acceptable can be shifted over time by introducing ideas that seem extreme now, but over time can be more normalized. It's being described as a fringe movement now, but it's growing, so the idea is being amplified. Oh, and I can't speak for black women, obviously, but I noticed it was just us white women at this stupid conference speaking so flippantly about not needing our right to vote. Guess y'all missed that whole Voting Rights Act decision recently, huh? So may I just say, f*** you.
I have to say this is quite disturbing. It's still disturbing. When did I record this? I recorded this a month ago. And the other video that I'm going to play you from MS Now about the Heritage Foundation, which they recorded 4 months ago, about Project 2025 and what it entails. I want to play a specific speech in this video that any woman who is aspiring to have a career in whatever field of their choosing. You have some dumbass out here talking about, why do we need women engineers when we should be hiring more males? Why? Let's get into it.
National Conservatism Conference, he went even further, suggesting that women should be pushed out of large parts of the workforce with things like childcare and paternal and maternal leave and education subsidies. The answer is to make women's independence harder. And the people promoting this vision aren't even hiding their goals. Scott Yenner, a conservative political scientist recently appointed to a senior leadership role at the Heritage Foundation, has described universities as the citadels of our gynecocracy, meaning a society run by women. He argues that higher education should be de-emphasized in order to advance what he calls family matters. In a 2021 speech at the National Conservatism Conference, he went even further, suggesting that women should be pushed out of large parts of the workforce.
Every effort must be made not to recruit women into engineering, but rather to recruit and demand more of men who become engineers. Ditto for med school and the law and every trade. If every Nobel Prize winner is a man, that's not a failure. It's kind of a cause for celebration. Why can't our celebration of male excellence in sports be translated into all facets of life? More successful men will mean more happy citizenry and a stronger nation.
Happy men equal a strong nation. Gets better, by the way, in that same speech. That's a serious speech. It's not a satire. Yenner attacked women who prioritized careers over family and revealed something else about his thinking that should frighten everyone. Listen.
Such medicated, quarrelsome, and meddlesome women gain their meaning through the seeming participation in the global project. They are agents of the new world, but not new life. Such women are now the backbone of every left-wing cosmopolitan party in the Western world, from the Greens in Germany to the Democratic Party in America. And if our ideal woman is a childless media scold or a barren bureaucratic apparatchik, there is no question whether we can have a future. We can't. There is a question of whether we deserve one.
There is a question of whether we deserve a future. Setting aside the misogyny, contempt dripping from that rant, that line should send a chill down your spine because it reveals something profound about the worldview behind this movement. Who exactly is the we that he's talking about? Certainly not the meddlesome women he condemns for finding meaning outside the home. Yenner seems to believe that he and men like him are fully entitled to dictate and hold ownership over women's futures. And this isn't some fringe internet rant. This same line of thinking now sits inside the leadership ranks of the Heritage Foundation, the same group helping shape policy for the Trump administration. Yenner's comments reveal another political calculation behind this agenda. Educated women and women who make independent decisions about their lives tend to vote Democratic. Yenner seems to think that's because Democrats throw great parties. But the reality is much simpler. Many Americans, men and women, who don't believe society should be organized around patriarchy, racial superiority, or religious nationalism, tend to gravitate toward the party that defends civil rights, pluralism, and personal freedom. For men of the new right like Yenner, policies that push women out of universities, out of the workforce, and out of public life don't just force women back into the home. They fundamentally reshape political power, which is why this agenda is not just about culture. It's about control over women's futures, because these far-right extremists and the movement surrounding Donald Trump, the real problem is women themselves. Women who think. Women who choose. And they may think things and choose things that threaten the power structure of the new right. So their answer is to push women back into their place, to strip away their autonomy, to push them out of public life, to narrow the futures available to them. Ultimately, this agenda is not really about solving demographic decline. If increasing the natural replacement rate was the actual goal, the proposals would actually look very different. Countries around the world face falling birth rates, and they've taken very different approaches.
I have to say that there is a lot to unpack there in that short thing. Of course, you know, I was taking notes. Well, I took notes earlier. But I was talking about Savannah Faith Stone. And I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of what Copilot brought up about who she is. Savannah Faith Stone is a social media influencer known for promoting a traditional, quote, trad wife close quote, lifestyle, emphasizing homemaking, marriage, and traditional family. Now, a little bit on her biography it goes into. Savannah Faith Stone, born in 2006, as an Instagram and TikTok influencer who has gained attention for embracing a traditional lifestyle that prioritizes homemaking, loyal marriage, and rejecting feminine modern ideas, or it says ideals. She met her husband Noah at the age of 17. They married a year later when she was 18. The couple resides in Jacksonville, Florida, where Savannah manages the household while Noah works full-time as a landscaping manager. She is deeply committed to her faith and maintains a prayer journal as part of her daily routine. Now, let me just say this, okay? I don't begrudge people who want to live like a biblical life. I don't believe in the Bible, never have, and never will. And that's me. But if you want to believe in it, more power to you. If that's what gives you confidence to live in the straight and narrow for yourself and for your family, more power to you. What I have an issue is, this has been the issue now for centuries, is how these very same people like to push this narrative on other people, making up these lies about Jesus saves, and if you don't turn your life to Jesus, you're going to go to hell, which none of that is going to happen. It's not true for many of people. I mean, we're talking about if people turn their life over to Buddhism, are they going to go to hell? If people turn their life to Hinduism, are they going to go to hell? If people turn their life over to Islam, are they going to go to hell? No, they're not. That is their choice of faith for themselves. And everyone should be allowed that choice. And then remember a while back when I was talking about influencers, as a matter of fact, I was talking about it in this video.
To either delete your account as a whole or disqualify you from the program so that they do not have to pay you the money you have already worked to get.
So I'm going to pause it here momentarily because this was something I did. I talked about this on another video, and you have a lot of people who come in and chime in the comments that being a content creator isn't a real job, etc., etc. Get a real job. This is what happens. You know what? To be a content creator is a real job for a lot of people, and no one should discount someone who is putting the work. I'm not talking about influencers, which is an entirely different story. I'm talking about people like myself and like many others who put content together, who do research, who write things out, find videos related to the topic, and then put everything together like a small production. Okay, so I'm reacting to my own videos in addition to the MS Now of what's going on. And I brought that video up to make a point of all of this, the difference between an influencer and a content creator. An influencer doesn't care about your well-being. An influencer doesn't think about your lifestyle. An influencer's point is to feature their lifestyle. Look at how I'm living. Look at this house. Look at this car. And as a result of all of these things, it's because I did this, A, B, and C. And if you follow it too, you can also live a rich and wonderful life. And a lot of these talking points, they are all multi-level marketing talking points. That's what they are. It would not surprise me if Turning Point USA was also following that playbook format, because how else are they going to make money? How else are they going to lure people into a concept of living they probably are not living themselves? Here are my notes. This is the way I wrote it out. Here is the problem I have with influencers. They cater to a lifestyle you are not living. In addition, their lifestyle showcases you can have this life by doing the following, whatever that may be. Without this life, one or more things can happen. So when people are telling you well, if you don't live this, terrible things are going to happen. Think about the multi-level marketing when you're trying to sell something to someone and your team is not doing well. Do you know they incorporate a lot of this religious ideology? Well, did you turn it over to God? Did you talk to God about it? Are you not surrendering to God? Believe me, that's what they're doing. I've seen enough videos to know a lot of these influencers who are in multi-level marketing lifestyle, that's what they do. What they try to do is they try to influence your mind. They try to subject you to things that aren't real in order for you to say, well, maybe it is me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And let me just say this. It's very important to understand. It's not like it's a bad thing for you not to take a look at yourself. It's always good. But when a person uses manipulation and mind control and conformity to try and make you think what you're doing is wrong and, put in $10,000 more and I bet everything will work out. And then here you are writing a check for $10,000, money that you're never going to see, while the other person is making the hard-earned money that you're making for them. Your hard-earned money is going to them. They don't care about your life and your choices. They only care about the check you're writing to put into their pocket so they can live a wonderful life. I mean, I don't know. In my own personal opinion, I don't think that Savannah Faith Stone cares about anybody but making sure she is living a prosperous life by serving bullshit to women into believing, oh yeah, we just need a one-person voting household. What are you going to do? And I'm throwing this as scenarios. I'm not saying this is happening to her or other women in Turning Point USA. This is not about Turning Point USA and the women in it. I'm talking about women in general. And I think it's important for everybody to reflect on this. Just imagine a scenario that you are a woman and you're on a dating app and you're looking to meet that perfect person and you find that perfect person. And let's say it's one of these Christian dating apps. Just narrow it down from there. We already know what kind of men are there and what kind of women they are looking for. If you meet a man who later on down the line becomes abusive and you're sharing this with your friend, when your friend tells you, what did you do to make him upset? What did you say? Is that a real friend? I don't think so. If you go to your friend and say, I was essayed, and I'll put the words here because I don't know about YouTube and how they feel about those two words together. If you went to your friend and said that, and your friend asked you, what were you wearing? Is that a real friend? Ask yourself, be real. Be real about this, because I know that women have had these conversations with other women, and other women have told them this. Did you remain friends with them? To me, those women are not real friends. I said what I said. They are not your friend. When they are questioning your integrity about abuse, what were you wearing? What did you say to get him upset? Those are not your friends. And then here's the scary thing, and I want to close out with this. Imagine an influencer who knowingly fed you these lies and may have been in a relationship that was unhealthy. And then later on down the line, opens up and says, everything I said was a blatant lie. I want forgiveness. What would you do? Do you believe that type of influencer deserves a second chance in going online, perpetuating lie after lie about traditional living, traditional life, religion and God and all of this biblical bullshit? They fed you to make money. That's the only reason why they're doing it. Again, this is my own personal opinion. I'm not saying all influencers are doing this on purpose. There are people who do like vlogging life, which is completely different. They're vlogging their life, especially if they live out of the country. How is it living there? How is it raising children there? What is the lifestyle there? What is the culture there? That's all very interesting. That's not a person influencing you saying you need to move to this country in order for you to live a better life. They're not saying that. What they're sharing is a vlogging lifestyle of how they chose to live in another country, especially if they're from the United States or from Canada and moving to like maybe China or something like that, or Italy, which is a completely different living. It's not like here. So of course, anyone would be curious to know, how is that vlogger living and what are they doing? Maybe at some point I would be interested in moving to another country. I'm not saying me, I'm just people in general, that they may be thinking that. But when you think about the influencer who isn't an honest person, is this not a form of abuse? Abuse of the mind by contorting a truth that isn't real? Well, that's all for now. This is Maribel Blue signing off. As always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other. Most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.